All right, welcome everybody. As most of you know, I'm Megan Twentyman from Soft Solutions, and welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar is co-hosted with Yealink, and I have a number of panelists on the call with me today. I've got Spurs Zhang from Yealink, nice and early over there in China for Spurs this morning. So Spurs' role is focused around Yealink integrations with 3CX. So great to have him on the call with us today. We've also got some Yealink local experts, Julie and Lyndon, on the call with us, and hopefully Yilmaz from 3CX will be joining us very shortly as well. So welcome everyone, and we will get cracking with today's webinar. Right, quick agenda for us. We're going to look at the new growth opportunities around Yealink and some forecasting, why the Yealink range, obviously a key focus around noise cancellation and the quality. Then we're going to focus in on those 3CX integrations and what that sales opportunity might look like, a few predictions, a bit of housekeeping from me as normal, and we'll talk about an NFR program we're about to launch, and we will wrap up with a Q&A. So don't hesitate to put those questions in the questions, which is the question mark, or the chat of the GoToWebinar. All right, new growth opportunities, and what is that going to look like? So as we all know, the hybrid workforce is here to stay. This is our new normal. We're either working in the office or we're working at home, and we need to make sure that our staff are equipped really well to be able to work from home. And Yealink covers all of that as well as your office. So let's take a deeper dive. So in terms of some forecasts, it's a little bit so hard to see. The blue is the SIP desktop phone, and the green on the graph is the business headsets. As you can see, there has been steady growth across the business headsets, and we expect that to continue into the future. So they are a fast moving category, and it's essential hardware. So we're going to see continued growth across these ranges, and we want to make sure that you, our 3CX partners, are on board with this as well. So as you can see, end customers need headsets. There's a lot of anecdotal information about what VoIP providers are doing across the globe, and headsets are becoming a really important part of that package. But people still like that desk phone as well, and I'm guilty. I have a desk phone at my work office desk and my home office desk, as well as, of course, my great headset that I'm using today. One of the key things is that customers don't always know what they want. They'll ask for something because they've heard the terminology, but they don't always know what they want. So you know better, and you need to have that consultative conversation. And what we want is for you to be doing those sales and not online e-tailers or customers just self-selecting headsets. Because as I said, the customer doesn't always know best. Key things here are you as an IT partner have that knowledge, you can have that consultative conversation, and that's a clear advantage. You are the trusted advisor. They're reading reviews online or chatting to someone online and that type of thing. So we want to make sure that you are equipped to be able to answer those queries around Yealink headsets. So some key things to consider with your sales options is around how you're going to sell that to your customer. So these are some of the popular things that we have partners working on already, and things that you might not or may have considered. So there's outright purchase, one-time purchase. I mean, that's the most common way that people purchase hardware, whether it be their desk phones or their headsets or a combination of both. You can also do a contract where you as the partner are buying the hardware and renting it at a premium price, of course, to the customer. So there's some options there as well. The other one is a monthly solution. So you're sort of renting it to them on a short term rather than a fixed term contract. So there's lots of options. You just need to price it and protect yourselves. Obviously with headsets, there is the ease of being able to change the cushions on the headset from a hygiene perspective. So there are options available to you, and it's something to consider, especially if price is becoming a barrier for your customer. Although the Yealink solutions are so well priced in the marketplace, we shouldn't see that being a barrier. So why choose Yealink? There are lots of headsets out there in the market. Microsoft Teams certification is obviously a key driving force for different brands these days. And, you know, no disrespect to any brand. There are lots of brands out there that do a great job. You will have all heard of them. You will have used them with your customers and that type of thing. But why Yealink? So Yealink is your one-stop shop. Okay, we have easy management, so that's just not management of your headsets, it's also your handsets and your VC. Everything's in that one-stop place. So that's one of the keys. The quality of the product is another one, and it's cost-effective and affordable for your customers. So just looking at the categories that Yealink is in, as you can see, Yealink is in every category, and they have ensured that they are delivering a core, fantastic product in each category. And other partners have chosen to stick to what they know best and stay in those categories, and that's great as well. The advantage with Yealink is, from an IT management perspective, it's all in one place. So it makes that management simpler, and simple is always best in our view. Easier connections. So obviously the equipment is designed to work together. We all know the pain of trying to find the correct EHS switch, the cables, making sure they're plugged into the right place. Some clever customer unplugs something and then plugs it back into the wrong place, and their audio is an issue. So it's really important that we make it as simple as possible. Obviously, with the innovation of the new T4U range, so the 43, the 46 and the 48, along with the DECT headsets being USB, that plug and play is just so much simpler. I love my plug and play on my desk and my charging for my cell phone as well. And also it makes it so much tidier, no messy cables to play with. So the Yealink range is very diverse. They have everything that you could possibly need. So they have wired headsets, they have quick disconnect headsets because those can be essential for certain workers. Then they have the DECT wireless range, which is extremely popular, and there are some new innovations coming in this range. So we will see very soon in New Zealand, I keep saying soon, I'm sure it'll be on the air or the water soon, is the next generation of the WH62 and 63 headsets that will be a portable range with a DECT dongle. So it will make it able to be used with the charging stand if you wish, or taken with you to the office as well. The other innovation that is coming is the ability to be able to connect those DECT headsets to a base station. So for me, that will be fantastic. I have my WH66 workstation set up on my home desk because I work more days at home than from the office with the hybrid environment. But then I'll be able to take it with me to the office. At the moment, I keep a second headset at the office. So it will make my life easier. DECT has been fantastic and doing really well, and of course it's interopt with 3CX as well, so really excited about that. We also have the newer Bluetooth headsets that have come out from Yealink, and a number of my team members are using the BH72, which is already available. The BH76 is coming soon. We keep saying it's coming soon. There's also a BH78 coming and a 71, which you can see are slightly different styles of headsets. The exciting news we've just had in the last few days is that these Bluetooth headsets have also been integrated with 3CX. I have not had a chance to test that myself because my Bluetooth headset's at the office and I haven't been there this week. So we will test that and get back to you on that. So whilst the headsets are Teams certified, they're also an excellent everyday headset. I use mine with 3CX all day, every day, because that is our phone system. I also, of course, have to attend Teams meetings, and I can do that. I can even start the meeting really easily straight from my base station. You can choose dual or mono. Interesting fact, New Zealanders still request the mono more often than they request the dual headsets. Globally, dual is the market leader. I personally prefer the dual because otherwise I'm always distracted by what's going on around me. But that is a personal choice and that type of thing. The fact that you've got all the easy control buttons, it's easy to install, it's a painless experience. So highly recommend the either entry level or the more advanced DECT workstation. So this is my setup, except I've got the WH66, as you can see, and I have the wireless charger for my phone as well. This solution also allows me to connect my headset via Bluetooth to my cell phone. So not only am I now taking my 3CX calls, my Teams meetings, hosting a GoToWebinar meeting like today, I can also take my calls from my cell phone on the same thing. I personally use the 3CX Windows desktop app, sometimes the web client, but mainly the Windows desktop app. And the fact that I can literally pick my headset up from the charger and my call's ready to go is fantastic. And we all know that most of us have multiple devices on our desktops. It gets cluttered, it gets messy, so we can tidy that all up. You know, Yealink's been around for nearly 20 years. That experience really, really does count, and they're redefining how the workplace works and what that looks like and bringing everything together. I don't think we're quite ready to see the end of the SIP phone because they're still just as popular as ever, and even our little kiddies that are playing at kindergartens still hold their hand up to their ear to pretend to hold a telephone. So I think they'll be around for a while, but with the hybrid workforce, we're definitely going to see that innovation. All right, so the new Bluetooth headsets. For those of you that haven't had a chance to see them, my favorite feature is the boom. And Ash, who's our channel head of channel, he uses the BH72 and he loves the fact that he can just push that boom back in and go on mute very, very quickly. With this DECT headset that I've got, I can also flick that up and be on mute very, very quickly as well. You can get it with or without the wireless charging stand. I would highly recommend the wireless charging stand because, as you can see there, when you're working, your headset's charged. It's going to stay charged. You can pop your phone on the wireless charger and charge that while your headset's ready for you to grab for the next call coming in. And then come the end of the day, you can pop your headset on to charge so that it will never be flat when you need it, or obviously you might be even taking it home. So it gives you lots of flexibility. We've got several team members that are using the Bluetooth headset and absolutely loving it. What is a headset without quality audio? Audio is just so important. We want that noise cancellation. I come from a background where I worked with speech recognition technologies for a very long time. I still do. And that noise cancellation has been key. But it's something that we really, I guess, take for granted now. But when you use a headset that doesn't have such good noise cancellation, you really do notice a difference. Yealink have addressed the noise cancellation across their entire range of headsets, and it's just important that we recognise that when talking with our customers. It's nothing worse than in that ambient background noise. A key example I can give you is I ran a webinar about 2 months ago, and the neighbours decided to have one of their 20-foot palms removed across the road whilst I was delivering the webinar. Nobody actually knew it happened, and there was a huge thump. I actually jumped as the trunk came down, but it didn't actually carry through to the video. I rewatched the video to ensure that we had a seamless presentation. So there is actually a really cool little video that has been done that puts the headset through its paces. Now, I'm actually not going to play that video today because the audio quality across is not giving it its due justice and there's a little bit of a delay, I'm going to share the link for that video when we send out the recording of this meeting, and I would encourage you to have a look. It really does speak for itself. It's only about a minute long. It's just an MP4, and I will share that link tomorrow when it comes out with the recording of today's webinar. Well worth a quick watch and listen. So now let's look at 3CX integrations. So you can see to the right a screen capture of my Windows desktop app where I have got my WH66 connected to my 3CX. With the launch of version 18, which we've now had for quite some time, the WH6X range, the DECT range, became fully supported with the most modern applications for 3CX, which is the desktop app, the web client, as well as the new progressive web app. Incoming calls are answered when you pick up your headset from the charger, or if you use the buttons on the side. And as I said earlier, you can mute yourself easily by just flipping the boom. It's just so simple. The number of meetings I'm on where people go, oh, where's the mute button? And I had that the other day when I was on a meeting of a platform that I wasn't familiar with. The Yealink Bluetooth headset integration has just been completed, and as I said, we will be testing that and we will share our results. Hopefully, I've got a VoIP newsletter coming out on Wednesday. We will have had it tested by then, so watch this space. But being able to integrate and use it with 3CX just makes my everyday life so simple. A couple of things to consider is DECT versus Bluetooth. So customers will often ring in to say, I want a Bluetooth headset, because that's what they've heard of. They don't understand the difference between DECT and Bluetooth. We've put the DECT and the Bluetooth side by side in a few different scenarios. I have to say the DECT is slightly clearer. The Bluetooth is really good, but the DECT is slightly clearer. So there's things to consider. With DECT, you're not going to get interference from other units nearby. You can connect it to a desk phone coming up and a DECT wireless phone as well. With the new DECT dongle that's coming, there's a new EHS switch coming. There's lots of things coming that will make DECT as portable as Bluetooth. But then Bluetooth has its advantages as well. Portability being obviously the key one. If you have a lot of Bluetooth in a very small space, you can get interference, and that's across many, many brands and is part of Bluetooth. So just think about your customer's environment, have that consultative conversation, and explain to your customers what the different options are. The fact that with both options now from Yealink, you can also charge your mobile phone is just the icing on the cake for me. So what is that sales opportunity? Hybrid work is here to stay. When COVID hit in 2020, headsets were scarce. Anything would do. I know we had headsets from multiple vendors, multiple brands, and they just went, and the country was stripped bare of headsets as people got ready. Thankfully, 3CX, of course, was already ready for that hybrid workforce. Businesses are now stopping and going, we need to equip our staff, we need to think about health and safety considerations, we need to think about that wider parameter of our network and our hybrid workforce, and that long-term comfort. Wearing a headset all day can get uncomfortable. I have to say that with my Yealink, I find it really, really light, and I really like that. I know Ash, for example, prefers the kind of extra weight of the Bluetooth headset. So, everything's different for different people. Easy portability is another thing to consider. Being Microsoft Teams certified is a massive advantage today. And of course, both the Yealink options work with both 3CX and Microsoft Teams now. Now is the time to touch base with your customers and see if those cheap and cheerful headsets that everybody grabbed at the beginning of 2020 are still meeting the brief for them. And it gives you that chance to touch base and check in. How's their 3CX going? What else do they need? Do they need some more SIP hardware phones as well as headsets? So lots of opportunities to have that consultative conversation and lock your customer into you further. So in terms of predictions, as we said right near the beginning, the prediction is that the headset sales will continue to increase. That is what we would expect. It's what we will see. It's what we are seeing. Hot desking is, obviously a new thing. A lot of companies are re-imaging their floor layout. We at Soft Solutions are doing exactly that next week. We've got some new desks arriving, and our whole business development and marketing team will have hot desks because we're in and out of the office on different days, and very rarely that we're all there. So we are already looking ahead to how that will fit with the modern workplace, and that of course fits so well with 3CX and also with the Yealink portable headset options. The 3CX apps just make direct connection via a headset easy. You know, I don't know the last time I used my desk phone on either my work desk or my home office desk. It's not what I do anymore. But it's all about just ensuring it's easy for your staff and that they're comfortable. You know, that's a key thing. We're seeing this mass resignation and movement of people. If your people are comfortable, if they're happy, if they feel helped, that type of thing, that's all messaging you can share with your customers. So keeping up to date, I have not yet announced the Q3 dates for our 3CX technical trainings. Jordan has actually left Soft Solutions. He's gone on to another exciting opportunity around NFT and blockchain. And we have a lovely new lady who has joined us, Anisha, who has just begun all of her training. She's getting up to speed very, very quickly, and she will be our new 3CX trainer for Q3. So please bear with us. Those of you that are on my waiting list, I will let you know as soon as those bookings open, and we will get those rolling for Q3 as quickly as possible. Yealink firmware and announcements. If you haven't got a support account with Yealink, please do sign up. I'll make sure to pop the link in the email that comes out tomorrow with the recording, and you can set your subscription so I get notified of new firmware updates. So it's really important to keep technology up to date. Firmware for your headsets, firmware for your handsets, really important to keep those up to date. Just a reminder to check the supported firmware for 3CX as well for your handsets. That's very important, and that information is available on the 3CX website. Stay in tune to our communications. As I mentioned, I have a VoIP newsletter coming out next week, and that comes out monthly, apart from January because I'm still on holiday mode. And that's where all the news is shared. We also have our weekly newsletter. There's an events section there, so things like the technical training goes in there straight away. We have our LinkedIn Soft Solutions VoIP community group. That's where I post all the news first. Hopefully some of you have seen today that Nick Galea has returned as CEO at 3CX. He's been sitting in the CTO role for the last 3 years, but as we know, Nick is the driving force behind 3CX, and I just posted that update to that community group earlier today. Right, now to the exciting stuff. NFRs. So we have negotiated a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to equip your own staff with Yealink headsets. So on average, it's about an extra 10% margin on demo units, and that is limited to 2 of each model. You need to contact me for the full details. I'll give you the pricing information. I'll give you a special SKU to order those with, and that is available until the end of July-ish at this stage, but we will have NFRs on an ongoing basis from Yealink, and including the handsets for the desks. So do let us know. NFRs are not for you to sell to your customers. They are for you to use in-house. We'd love to see them featured in some video reviews. And the other thing that we would like you to do is share about the Yealink range. If you need images, come and ask. I'll get those for you. Do a LinkedIn post, do a Facebook post, do an EDM out to your customers, and I'm happy to help you get that organized. If you tag in Yealink and Soft Solutions on online media, we'll be monitoring that, and you may be the lucky winner of a free Yealink headset. So do stay tuned, and if you would like some NFR information, please reach out to me. I have that pricing ready. I just haven't quite got all the SKUs loaded yet, but we're working on that, and I can load them as quickly as possible. And that, everybody, brings us to the end of today's webinar. I do thank you for joining us, and I hope that you've got some useful information out of what has been shared today. Definitely opening the floor now to questions, so you can put those in the questions or through the chat, and I will just pop out my pane so I can see what's happening here, and welcome Julie and Lyndon and Spurs back to be able to answer any of those questions. We can see you now, Julie. Fantastic. Okay, so first question that we've got here. So feel free to keep throwing questions in there for us all. Doesn't 3CX automatically provide firmware updates for the phones and headsets? So in terms of 3CX, Mark, there is a supported version and they update that as we come along. So yes, that is auto provisioned through 3CX. Things that need to be considered is things like if you're using a headset and the desk phone that is Teams certified, it may need some other updates and a manual provision for 3CX. So a couple of different options there, and it just does depend on the circumstances. Feel free to reach out to our VoIP support at softsol.co.nz email address if you need any clarifications or assistance, and we'll certainly help with that as well. Okay. Any more questions out there? Feel free. Spurs and Julie, I don't know if you've got anything that I missed or glossed over in the presentation that you'd like to share?
No,
oh, you're on
I don't
mute,
think
Spurs.
So. You there, Spurs?
You're self-muted at the moment.
Still muted, Spurs.
Oh, hang on, you're muted by me. Just wait a second, let me unmute you. I was putting you in your corner, Spurs.
Yeah, that's why.
Right, there you go.
Actually,
now we can hear you.
Yeah, cool. So thanks everyone for joining this event, and I think Megan just gave a wonderful speech regarding all this 3CX and how the headset are working with 3CX, this whole scenario. And I personally just want to add up one thing, that the headset demand is there, and since now they cannot buy the headset from you, they're gonna buy from someone else, like these e-tailers, right? So the business there, the demand there, and it's increasing, and that's the opportunity for you to seize it. Okay.
Fantastic, thanks, Spurs.
Cool.
Okay, it doesn't look like we've actually got any more questions coming in. It means I've either done a really good job or I've put everybody to sleep. Hopefully I've done a good job.
Wonderful
but
job.
if you do have any questions, do reach out. As I said, the recording of this will come out tomorrow and be shared with you. I'll share the link for the little video so that you can see the blender going in the background and not hear it when the Yealink DECT headset is being used. So I'll share that, and I'll also pop the link in there so that you can register for a Yealink support account if you haven't already got one, because that is, an essential thing to do just to get those updates about what is happening. You will have customers, heaven forbid, you may have customers that don't use 3CX, and then you may have some other things that you need to update firmware around connectivity between the headsets and the phones, that type of thing as well. But obviously, today's webinar is to talk about it all working together with 3CX, and it is a really seamless experience. So we really thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to Spurs. It's quite early over there in China. I think he was gobbling his breakfast before he came to join us today. And thanks Julie and Lyndon for jumping on with us as well. And we will have some more joint webinars with Yealink coming up, and of course our monthly 3CX updates as well. But last call for questions. Let me just check the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Just check there's nothing in there.
Spurs has agreed to give away a couple of headsets as well, haven't you, Spurs?
I'm sorry? What was that?
You've agreed to give away a couple of headsets as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
anybody's
sure,
got a really good question, throw that in now. You might win yourself a headset. You just never know. But we will be watching for those social media posts as well. And I know some of our partners have already got stuff in motion around that. So we're looking forward to seeing those. Feel free to tag me personally as well so that it really pings on my desk. So that would be fantastic. But it doesn't look like we've got any other questions. So I'm going to wrap the webinar up there. Thank you everybody for joining, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar next month. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.